Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And we give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I am Lexi Rodriguez. Watch the game live in our past episodes on demand on the Pilipinas Live app for just 149 pesos a month. Available for download on Google Play or the App Store.
All right, buckle up, sports fans, and let's get in the game. Happy Friday and welcome to the show. The UAAP Season 86 is well on its way. One more sleep and big things are coming, especially for the women's basketball division, as we have been talking about all throughout here on the show. And here to talk more about what's new and other important announcements is UAAP Women's Deputy Commissioner, Atty. Mariana Lopa. Welcome back to the show. And I want to start, Lexi, by saying that the last time you were here, you were had the role of analyst for certain games and for the national team, which brings me to my first question. When was the idea of coming up with the commissioner's team and having you as a deputy commissioner, especially concentrating on women's basketball, brought up to you? And was it a problem for you? Did you have any hesitation of accepting? Tell us, talk us through that process.
Actually, the idea of having me on board in the commissioner's team for the UAAP was brought up a year ago.
A year ago? Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
But
prior to season 85?
Yeah, season 85.
Okay.
But I don't know, one thing led to another. Hindi natuloy, season 85. And then they brought it up again, season 86. And I said, yeah, sure, of course. Because if you look at the major leagues in the US, almost all commissioners of major sports in the US are lawyers.
Right.
So when they asked me, I said, of course, perfect. This is what I've been wanting to do since for a long time. Yeah.
So you had an eye on like being a commissioner at some point specifically for the UAAP?
I suppose so, but then I also knew it was a long shot just because we've never had a female commissioner.
Right. Okay.
And
or
of
at least
course-
an active one.
Yes.
Diba?
Yeah. And you share your apprehensions. And of course, I want to ask, how do you balance doing everything? Like being a lawyer during the day, being the newest Deputy Commissioner for the UAAP Women's Basketball, and how does this mean to you, of course, being an advocate for such a great thing?
I always say that my life as a student athlete prepared me for this.
Yeah.
I see my day job as a lawyer as school, and then all the basketball stuff is like my sports now. So that's basically it.
Well, things work out for a reason, right? And the timing is always perfect. So you've gotten that background and then the legal part of it. So it's a perfect combination now. Okay, the press conference. Did you feel the energy that I felt during the press conference? It was just great. It was such positivity. And of course, the spotlight on women's basketball. Tell me your general thoughts on what happened and what transpired.
I was super impressed and super happy for the coaches because they spoke up and each of them thanked the league, thanked everybody who allowed them to be there, and thanked the league for the coverage, Signal for the coverage. And it's really, that's what I say about women's basketball. You give them so little and it goes such a long way. Super happy about that.
And you mentioned that you were a former athlete yourself for the Atty Blue Eagles. And maybe how does this newfound attention affect the players themselves? Does this give them a bit more of jitters with excitement, or do they get more excited with the thought of being having more light on
I think
such the
a lot of these players are super excited about the coverage. Why? Because before this, a lot of their families couldn't watch them play. A lot of the players come from the provinces or even abroad, right?
Exactly.
And before this kind of coverage that they're going to be given, their parents had never seen them play a UAAP game. So this is super exciting for the players.
Right, and of course, they can now watch them live in all the venues. And just to add on, for those who don't know yet, all of the games will be covered live on the Pilipinas Live app, with replays also both on Pilipinas Live, because we have the games on demand, so they can watch it anytime, anywhere they want to. And also to remind you that if you like the TV screen, of course, there's the UAAP Varsity channel, which you can watch the replays in high definition. So we've got women's basketball covered, and we've got a separate panel. Specifically, we trained some really new talents this year, former players. That should excite you too.
Definitely. I love that you guys got former players as the analysts for women's basketball, because it's such a tight-knit community that it's good when you have an analyst that actually knows the players, number one, and knows what the players are going through, like preparation-wise and in the game itself. And they know the little things, like the rivalries we're not so familiar with, the history of these players, where they're from, what they study. These girls will be perfect for the analyst job.
Right now, we're in the context of the players. Maybe we can delve into how does this elevate? Of course, there are players who got more experience being part of the national team. But then how does this elevate, or how does this signify the importance of those who didn't make it into the roster?
You mean the college players who didn't make it to the national team roster? Yeah, definitely this gives them a little bit of an edge, because then the national team program can watch all their games. You don't have to have Coach Pat running from venue to venue. You know, that's huge for them. Another one is you just have a database of games, right? If these girls want to go abroad, maybe after college, then they can direct teams to watch their games live on the app, right? It's huge. This step of covering all the games and having it on the app worldwide is huge for the girls.
Right, and I personally think also it becomes so aspirational for the girls now because of the attention that it gets. Speaking of attention, you will pay attention closely to the games,
Yes.
Attorney, because you're going to be there every day. Of course, you're going to be with us with the men's basketball too.
Yes.
But you are going to oversee the women's tournament. Tell us, what are some of the exciting things that you're looking out for? Plus, siguro na rin some of the challenges, because this is your first time. Even if you are embedded in women's basketball, as a commissioner, it's a completely different role for you.
Right. What I'm super excited for is I think this year is the first year that we're going to have a little bit more even playing field. For the past 7 years, it's been NU and everyone else.
Right.
But that's the nature of things, right? You set the bar and the others try to reach it. And I think we're already at that level where the other teams are slowly catching up with NU in terms of recruitment support and all of that. So that's what I'm super excited for, the on-court competition. In terms of challenges, these past few weeks, for the past month and a half, we've been training with the referees every week.
Yeah.
And I'm what you would call a tao ng basketball. I love basketball. I watch it all the time.
In all levels,
All
whatever
levels.
level. Yeah, okay.
But training with the referees opened my eyes to how much I don't know about basketball.
Right.
In terms of what the referees are looking at, the new updated rules, the new updated FIBA rules, the difference between FIBA rules and pro rules. There's so much to learn, but I'm excited for the challenge.
Wala pang ibag si Attorney, so pwede pa. Parang hindi ko masyadong, or naitatago lang.
Pero I think more than anything else, I think we are also more than excited to meet the UAAP women's basketball teams. Meron ka bang sariling pick na parang the dark horse whatsoever? Or is there anyone that talagang it's an even playing field?
That's a tough question. But we'll see. I think in the press con it was clear. Teams are looking out for NU and UST. But I think dark horses, you've got last year's Final Four, Ateneo, you've got UP retooling, they've got 2 national team players on the team. Super exciting.
Okay, one last question. We always talk about the women's basketball and the players and all that. How about the coaching? The coaching is also elevated with all of this, right, Attorney?
Right. You've got some great coaches on the women's side. Like in UST, you have Coach Heidi, who's been there for years.
Right.
On NU, you have Coach Aris inheriting that program, but he carried on the legacy last year. In LaSalle, not enough is said about how good Coach Cholo is in all the teams that he goes to. He's great.
Exactly. I agree. Obviously, I covered his career, and he's a winner.
Yes.
And then I pointed out in the press conference, Ryan Monteclaro, a former player for Adamson
exactly.
University.
It's great to see the men's players also come join the women's side in the coaching staff. So you have Ryan, you have Bacon, Austria, and Ateneo. LA Momar. Bacon's brother is on the UST coaching staff. So you've got great coaches all around.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it's not just the players. The coaching is elevated with women's basketball.
Thank you so much, Attorney Mariana,
We're excited.
for being with us.
Super excited.
Especially this Sunday, we're going to witness more of the UAAP women's basketball.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now after the break, we'll be checking out the latest in the 19th Asian Games happening in Hangzhou, China. So stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back. You're still watching the game. Now, after a loss in the semifinals, the Philippines took the bronze medal for tennis in the 19th Asian Games. So let's hear from the bronze medalists of the mixed doubles, Alex Ayala and Nino Alcantara.
I think we're very happy. It's our first time playing together, and we beat the #1 seeds. We played well yesterday against Thailand, and today we were just like unlucky with some like shots, like yung mga close calls, like barely touched the line. So, like could have been both sides talaga yung match, but kudos to the other team. They played really well from the start. So
I'm super happy. I think it's so easy to just have fun on the court and to play our best when the chemistry is there. Well, it's quite easy to play doubles with him. I would say he's a really good leader, and siya talaga yung mas experienced sa doubles, and I tried my best to help him execute whatever was in his brain.
I'm really happy now we got the bronze medal. Like knowing Alex, she's been like all over the world playing singles, and just being with here, like participating in the Asian Games, playing mixed with me I'm so thankful for it, and also for Ruben for giving me the spot for the mixed double. So, and I would like to thank our coaches too, Coach Chris and Danny, for being with us, and our physio, Harry, for helping us this week. Like it's been a big help. Like we have a small team, but we all work like together.
This is my first Asian Games, but I came here prepared. I knew what I was going to be up against, so I prepared for that, and I worked really hard these past few days, and I chose a good partner, and everything, the stars aligned for us this year, and hopefully next time they will align a little straighter.
Now, on the hardwood, the Gilas women take their second win of the tournament. Gilas took another huge victory after a 99-63 finish against Hong Kong. They are currently undefeated with a record of 2-0.
And with that, the count continues as the country fights for more podium finishes in this year's Asian Games. China is still in a dominant lead, being the only country that has tallied more than 100 medals. Korea and Japan are in a tight race with only 7 medals setting them apart, while the Philippines is currently 24th in the Asian ranks with a total of 7 medals, including 1 silver. And after the break, we'll check in with Edward, the landslide Folayang, as he gets ready for his upcoming bout in Singapore. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game. Welcome back right away here on The Game. Pioneer champion, legend. These are just some of the words that come to mind when talking about Edward Folayang. The landslide joins us live from Singapore right now ahead of his upcoming bout at 1 Fight 14. Edward, magandang gabi. Welcome to The Game.
Magandang gabi, Boom, and Lexi. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Oh, thank you very much for being with us. Alam ko, dapat maaga ka matulog dahil maaga ang laban bukas. Which actually brings me, ito muna, tanungin muna natin yan. Itong umaga na laban, Edward, hindi naman bago sa'yo, pero is it different in terms of yung preparation? Of course, wala naman time zone difference sa Singapore and Philippines, but madalas din lumalaban kayo kadalasan gabi. Yung umaga ba, does it change things for you?
Hindi naman. Siyempre, nasanay na kaming mag-training ng morning. So, usually mga morning sparring namin ginagawa namin sa umaga. Kaya Hindi naman, siguro yung adjustment lang kasi syempre, yun nga, nasanay tayo sa gabi. Pero at the end of the day, parehas na laban, parehas na crowd. So let's go there and do our thing.
Lexi, paalala ko lang, kaya umaga yung laban kasi they will show this in the US as
right.
American prime time. Kaya ganun po yung kalalabasan niya.
Sure ako madaming excited dyan. And gusto ko lang munang tanungin, Edward, excited ka na ba sa laban mo na susunod? Kalaban?
Oo naman, I'm very excited kasi syempre I will be fighting here again after 12 years. Nung unang inaugurate ko ang One Championship noong 2011. And after 12 years, andito pa rin. So, I will be representing a new team now, Lions Nation MMA. So, it will be a very exciting thing for me.
September 3, I believe, yung first time mo sa One, 12 years ago. Of course, hindi pa natin pinag-uusapan yung career mo before One. So, napakahaba na. So, which brings me to the question, Edward. Why is it important for you to continue fighting pa rin? Why is this career of yours important?
Oo naman, syempre as long as we are living, as we are breathing, we still need to fight. Alam ko sa mga kababayan natin, maraming mga bagay na pinaglalabanan, and for us, this is what we love to do, and if we can inspire more people to, especially the youth, to try martial arts and use it as an area for them to be great, then napakaganda.
Tama. Ngayon, Edward, si Amir Khan, you faced each other 5 years ago, no? Sabi niya na he wants to make a statement as he bouts against you tomorrow. Meron ka bang klaseng statement na gustong gawin dahil for him, he views you as a legend? What kind of statement do you want to make in this match?
Sa akin, syempre, ang statement na masasabi lang natin, I think I learned a lot on those 5 years, and I've been through very hard times. Kaya this time, I think I need to, do another thing na, alam mo yun, makakapag-start hindi lang sa bagong team natin, kundi sa bagong gym din na na-open natin.
Okay, I want to ask that. Lexi brought up your opponent, Amir Khan. Noong 2018, nung naglaban kayo, Edward, it was very different. He was on a roll, di ba? Maganda rin yung kanyang win streak noon. Maganda rin ang win streak mo noon. What are the differences now, 5 years after? Meron kayong parehong mga struggles already since then. But from a fighting standpoint, anong nakikita mong kaibahan now kay Amir Khan from 5 years ago, and si Edward Folayang din from 5 years ago to now, 2023?
Siguro yung nakikita ko lang na kaibahan sa kanya ngayon after 5 years, yung maturity niya bilang athlete, kasi syempre nagkaroon na siya ng family. So it's a responsibility talaga na medyo mas naging better siya, maturity niya. And for me naman, syempre very roller coaster ride. Mahirap, pero I think I learned a lot on those mistakes. Kaya talagang I really need to do something for me to get back on the track and regain the losses that I suffered.
Tama, sabi mo nga mahirap pero lumalaban ka pa din, di ba? Anong klaseng motivation yung nagpo-push sa'yo everyday para ma-inspire yung mga future martial arts players natin?
Sa akin, yung faith ko kay God. God had given me this potential in this area of in this world of martial arts. So I just want to share it. I just want to utilize it para at the end, pag tapos na lahat, at least nasabi kong I've been able to utilize it to the last.
Okay, nagpalit ka ng team. Sabi nga niya, you're you're going to be under a different banner. Is this the change that you think you needed to make to get out of a little bit of a losing streak or a little bit of a slump for you? Yan ba part of it na parang you needed a fresh start with a fresh team? Ganun ba yun?
Oo naman. Yun yung gusto ko. Siyempre, I need to venture out gusto kailangan mag-venture out, kailangan i-try whatever things na available para, syempre, ma-utilize talaga natin kung ano pa yung pwede nating ma-offer.
Yeah. Edward, you said you needed a fresh start. How is it so far? How are you adjusting to the current system of this, the Lions Nation?
Maganda naman. So far, syempre, mas complacent ako dun sa mga ka-teammates ko and then dun sa mga coaches ko. So, it's about a corporate effort talaga na we work together on a common goal and a vision. So, yun yung gusto naming marating, yun yung gusto naming mas maipakita pa dito sa paming na laban.
Okay, para dun sa mga hindi nakakaalam, 2018, of course, Edward Folayang won that match. Grueling fight between you and Amir. He said na he's going to submit you here in your rematch. Number one, what do you say about that, Edward? At saan mo nakikita itong laban na to? Is it going to be a striking match? Are you going to bring this to the ground? Saan mo nakikita yung laban with Amir Khan?
Well, I think magiging holistic yung approach naming dalawa. Siyempre sa kanya, I think he will be going to the ground, and for me, napaghandaan din naman natin yan. And yeah, siyempre, yung halos bread and butter din niya naman, more on striking. So it will always start on the striking department before going into the ground. Kung ano man, saan man pupunta, I think I'm ready, and yun, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, all fights start, tama, standing up. And let's go. Edward, sige, tulog ka na. Kailangan maaga tulog para masarap pang gising at manalo. Bukas, pinagdadasal ka namin at maraming salamat sa iyong oras tonight. The landslide, Edward Folayang, hopefully with a win tomorrow at 1 there in Singapore. Thank you, Idol.
Maraming salamat, Edward.
Thank you, Pum. Thank you, Lixie.
Thank you. That was Edward Folayang. Thank you for joining us. I am Lexi Rodriguez.
And don't forget to catch us weeknights here on One News and on the Pilipinas Live app, where you can watch us live and our past episodes on demand for just 149 pesos a month. Available for download on Google Play or the App Store. I'm Boom Gonzalez. Happy weekend, and this has been The Game.